You know what the real problem is? You're not in pain, not enough pain. You've built a life that's just tolerable enough for you to stay comfortable in failure. You're not broke enough to starve. You're not humiliated enough to feel shame. You're not scared enough to change. You're floating in that lukewarm pit of mediocrity where nothing hurts bad enough to wake you up, but nothing's good enough to fulfill you either. And that, my friend, is the most dangerous place a man can be. Because when you're starving, you'll fight. When you're broken, you'll climb. But when you're just okay, you rot slowly while smiling. You lie to yourself about your potential while Netflix lulls you to sleep and your dreams collect dust in the corner. You say, I'll start tomorrow, like tomorrow's promise. You act like you have time. You act like the clock's not laughing at you, but the truth, every second you hesitate, someone out there is executing your destiny better than you. And that's why you'll lose. You don't need motivation, you need truth. You need someone to tell you that your self-pity isn't noble, it's pathetic. That sadness you nurture like a pet, kill it. That voice in your head whispering it's okay to rest, silence it. No one respects a man who's owned by his emotions. You think the world cares, you're tired, you think it pauses because you're anxious or heartbroken or unmotivated. The world doesn't flinch, it keeps moving mercilessly, while you make excuses in a room full of participation trophies and unread books. And then you wonder why life doesn't give you what you want. Because life's a brutal fight, and you walked into the arena with your gloves off, hoping for applause instead of war. You were built for this. Every fiber of your being was designed to conquer, to lead, to dominate your space, but you traded that primal instinct for screen time and sugar. You chose comfort over greatness, convenience over growth, and now you blame the world because you're not winning? Please. But here's the good news. You're not done. You're not finished unless you decide to be. You still have that beast inside of you buried under years of laziness and lies. You can still awaken him. You can still burn the weakness out of your soul and rise like the warrior you were meant to be. It starts the moment you stop negotiating with your feelings and start obeying your purpose. You need to make pain your fuel and pressure your oxygen. You need to stop looking for shortcuts and start building discipline brick by brick, hour by hour. Don't chase dopamine, build pride. Earn your self-respect by doing what most men won't. Earn it every single morning when you wake up before the sun and move like you've got a kingdom to conquer. Because you do. Your life is your kingdom. Your body is your armor. Your mind is your sword. But if you don't sharpen it, if you don't swing it, someone else will take everything from you. And they'll do it with a smile while you scroll through fake success stories and wonder why you feel empty. Let me make one thing clear. You are not a victim. You're a volunteer. Every outcome in your life is a direct result of the choices you keep making when no one's watching. The skipped workouts, the ignored opportunities, the lazy afternoons, they add up. And eventually, they build your prison. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. You don't need to be lucky. You need to be ruthless with your time. Every hour wasted is a declaration that comfort owns you. And the truth is, no one who's ever changed their life started with perfect conditions. They just decided that mediocrity was no longer acceptable. They got sick of losing, sick of being tired, sick of being almost the man they were supposed to be. So they flipped the switch. And if you're listening to this right now, you're standing at that exact same crossroads. You either keep walking the path of excuses or you rewrite your story. Right now, not tomorrow, not next week, not after I get my life together, right now. Because the longer you wait, the deeper you sink into the quicksand of average. And there's nothing more terrifying than realizing you wasted the only life you've got, trying to be liked by people who don't matter. Impressing a world that couldn't care less. You were not born to blend in. You were born to break systems, build empires, and carve your name into time. But if you want that, you have to suffer for it. You have to embrace the pain most men run from. And through that pain, you'll find power. You'll rise. You'll build a spine out of steel and a mindset that doesn't flinch. You'll walk into any room and own it, not because you shouted the loudest, but because you know, deep down, you earned your right to exist as a weapon. No one gave it to you. You bled for it. You worked for it when no one was watching. You built it when no one believed in you. And now, you don't need approval. You are your own validation. So stand up, breathe. Let the fire back in. Let the anger sharpen you. Let the regret fuel you. Let every mistake become your foundation. This world doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you become. And right now, you have a choice. Stay soft and safe and sorry, or become the force you were always meant to be. I remember sitting alone in a cold apartment, nothing but dust on the floor and silence in the air, no food in the fridge, no fuel in the car, bank account screaming red. I wasn't a motivational speaker. I was just a man the world had tried to break, the kind of broke that doesn't just empty your wallet, it crushes your soul. I had two options, submit or rise. And I didn't choose to rise because I felt inspired. I did it because the thought of staying where I was felt like death. People don't understand that level of pressure. They've never been so low that standing up feels like lifting a mountain. But I have. I've felt that shame. I've heard those voices whispering that I'll never make it. And I fought them. Not with hope, with war, with discipline, with fire. And that fire didn't come from books or quotes. It came from raw, savage desperation. I didn't want success, I needed it. Because losing wasn't just failure, it was extinction. I told myself, either you conquer this life or you get consumed by it. There was no middle ground. People think success is some romantic journey filled with vision boards and self-love. No, it's ugly. It's violent. It's sacrifice after sacrifice. I've had nights where I went to sleep hungry, not from fasting, but from poverty. I've had days where my only fuel was fury. Fury that the world tried to bury me before I even had the chance to bloom. And I didn't have anyone to motivate me. I didn't have some mentor whispering wisdom in my ear. What I had was the mirror. Just me and the man, staring back, weak, tired, afraid. But I told him this ends now. And every day after that, I fought like hell to make sure he became the weapon I envisioned. You want a story? Here's one. There was a point where I sold possessions just to afford Wi-Fi so I could keep working. Not partying, not manifesting, working. Like a dog. Like a soldier at war with time. Because I knew if I didn't break through, the world would forget I ever existed. People glamorize the end result, but they never talk about the chapters of pain it took to write the story. They don't talk about the betrayal, the loneliness, the mental battles that leave you bleeding internally with no one to call. I remember the fake friends, the ones who disappeared when the money dried up, the ones who laughed when I said I'd be rich. Let me tell you something, there's no revenge more satisfying than silence, no comeback more deadly than success. I didn't need to prove them wrong, I needed to prove myself right, because when you realize your destiny doesn't need approval, you stop seeking permission. You stop playing small just to be accepted. You stop explaining your grind to people who've never suffered for a dream. And that's when the game changes. That's when you go from hopeful to unbreakable. There was a moment, it's still seared in my mind. I stood outside a gym in winter. I had holes in my shoes, my hands numb, my stomach empty. And I said out loud, this will not be my life. Not quietly, I declared it. I shouted it at the sky like a lunatic because I needed the universe to hear me. And maybe it did, or maybe I was the only one listening. Either way, I walked into that gym and trained like I was preparing for war. Not because I had a fight, but because life is the fight. And that discipline, that relentless decision to show up even when I had nothing, built the man I am today. People see me now and they think it was talent. No, it was torment. It was choosing sacrifice over sleep, isolation over comfort, growth over gratification. I bled for this. I bled in silence so I could roar in public. And now when I speak, I don't speak from theory. I speak from the battlefield. I've bled where you're bleeding. I've sat in the dark with no clue if the light would ever come back. But here's the difference. I kept moving. I didn't wait to feel ready. Didn't care about fear. I moved through it. I used it. I weaponized it. Because if you can take pain and forge it into purpose, nothing can touch you. The world can't stop a man who's made peace with suffering. That's what separates winners from the rest. Not luck, not privilege, just fire in the eyes and discipline in the bones. You think you're struggling? Good, that means the transformation has begun. No strong man ever came from an easy past. Your story is being carved right now with every tear, every setback, every doubt. And the ending? That's on you. You either stay down and rot in what could have been, or you rise up and rewrite the legacy you were meant to leave. Let the world laugh. Let them doubt. Let them call you crazy. You've got the scars. You've got the hunger. Now all you need is the choice. And if you choose to fight, really fight, then I promise you, This same pain that haunts you will one day kneel before you. This isn't just your story, this is your war. Win it! Every second you waste, there's a man just like you, hungrier than you, poorer than you, more desperate than you, but with a fire you've never known. And while you're debating whether to scroll TikTok or hit the gym, he's already outpacing you. Life doesn't slow down for hesitation. Every moment you hesitate, you're giving your future away to someone else. You're not losing time, you're gifting your destiny to the man who wants it more. That should terrify you, the idea that mediocrity isn't a punishment, it's a default setting. And if you do nothing, that's exactly where you'll stay. Forgotten, replaced, another nameless loser buried under excuses. You ever wake up and feel that quiet panic, that tightness in your chest that whispers you're wasting it? That's not anxiety. That's truth trying to slap you awake before life does it with a hammer. Because one day you'll blink and you'll be 35, stuck in the same place with the same complaints, looking back, wondering when the hell it all slipped through your fingers. The scariest part doesn't happen in one moment. It's death by comfort. Death by small decisions. You hit snooze once, you skip a workout once, you avoid pain once, and then you make it a lifestyle. That's how weak men are built, one soft decision at a time. And the world loves weak men because they're easy to control, easy to forget, easy to replace. Understand this. No one is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your girl, not your friends, not the government. You will die exactly as average as the effort you put in. And you can lie to everyone else about how hard you're trying, but you cannot lie to the man in the mirror. That man knows when you're being a coward. He knows when you're pretending to be patient when in reality, you're scared. He knows when you're watching other men live the life you dream of, while you're stuck in paralysis, trapped in fake productivity. And deep down, that knowing eats at you, doesn't it? Because you were built for more. You were built for war, for pressure, for conquest. But you traded it for comfort and convenience. What's worse than failure? Regret. At least failure shows you tried. Regret shows you were too weak to even begin. You'll never meet a man who gave everything and hates himself. But you'll find millions who played it safe, and every night they choke on the bitterness of knowing they could have been great. Don't let that be you. Don't become the man who scrolls through Instagram seeing other men in fast cars, luxury penthouses, on private jets, and instead of getting motivated, you start convincing yourself they're lucky, or scammers, or privileged. That mindset is poison, because the moment you justify someone else's success as luck, you sign the death certificate for your own ambition. And let me tell you something that should punch you straight in the chest. You're running out of time. You're not young forever. That body you abuse with junk food and neglect, it breaks. That mind you keep numbing with dopamine, it decays. Those dreams you keep delaying, they die. Time doesn't forgive. You don't get a refund for wasted days. And while you're busy waiting for motivation, the years are peeling off your life like paint on a rusted car. At some point, it's not about wanting more time. It's about begging for a second chance. And most men don't get one. They're trapped in jobs they hate, with people they can't stand, in bodies they resent, all because they waited too long to act. I need you to feel this in your bones. Right now is your only shot. The man you dream of becoming is watching you like a ghost, wondering if you'll ever rise to meet him, or if he'll fade into the graveyard of potential like the millions of forgotten men before you. And if that doesn't shake your soul, you're already lost. Because that version of you, ripped, wealthy, dangerous, respected, he's not mythical. He's not fictional, he's real, but he lives on the other side of discipline. And every time you skip a rep, skip a grind, skip a risk, you starve him. You keep him in chains. You betray the man you were born to become. This world doesn't reward the kind or the patient or the soft. It rewards the relentless. The man who doesn't just dream, but demands. The man who isn't afraid to burn his comfort zone to the ground if it means rising from the ashes as something stronger. You don't have the luxury of time anymore. You don't have the luxury of waiting. Every second is a choice between glory and obscurity. And if you don't choose now, the world will choose for you, and it will never choose greatness on your behalf. The clock is ticking. The wolves are moving. The throne is empty. Get up. Earn it. The problem with most of you is you think you got more time. You think you can take it slow, play the long game, ease into success like it's some gentle stroll. You walk through life like you're promised tomorrow. Like you're guaranteed the energy, the health, the opportunity you have right now. But let me give you the truth nobody else will say to your face. You're in a race against death. And every lazy morning, every skipped workout, every wasted hour is a victory for the version of you that dies broke, weak, unknown. That should haunt you. That should shake you to your core. Because every man has two lives, the one he lives and the one he could have lived. The tragedy is most never even get close to the second. You don't need more motivation. You need more urgency. You need that fire in your stomach, the one that makes you angry at your own excuses. Because let's be honest, if I stripped you of your phone, your bed, your comfort, and dropped you in a city where no one knew your name, and the only thing you had was your willpower, most of you would fold. You'd crumble under pressure because you've never had to be dangerous. You've never been forced to become sharp, disciplined, focused. But hear me, pressure's a gift. Pressure builds warriors. Pressure forges champions. You're avoiding the exact thing that would make you powerful, and then you cry about why your life hasn't changed. You want confidence? Earn it. You want respect? Command it. You want power? Sacrifice for it. This isn't about reading quotes and watching clips. This is about how many punches you can take and still get up swinging. Life will test you, it will take from you, it will betray you, and you have two choices. Collapse like a coward or rise like a savage. That's the reality. The only respect you get in this world is the kind you rip from it. Not given, taken. And you don't take it by being emotional. You don't take it by hoping. You take it by dominating every day like your life depends on it. Because it does. I don't care where you're from. I don't care if you grow up broke. I don't care if you've made mistakes. None of that matters. What matters is who you choose to become now, this second. Because pain, that's coming no matter what. Whether you stay broke or become rich, pain is part of the process. The question is, do you want the pain of discipline or the pain of regret? One builds you, the other buries you. You think comfort is your friend, but it's the devil in disguise. Comfort will rot your mind, soften your body, steal your ambition, and by the time you realize it, be too far gone to claw your way back. Stop chasing dopamine. Stop scrolling for distraction. Stop numbing your pain with nonsense. Face yourself like a man. The truth is, you're not tired, you're uninspired. You're not lost, you're unfocused. You're not broken, you're undisciplined. And nobody's coming to fix it but you. You can fake it online, you can act like you're grinding, but deep down you know whether you're doing the work or not. That's the inner war you need to win. Not against the world, against the version of you that wants to stay average. Kill him, replace him, build something unrecognizable in his place. You want people to believe in you? Prove them wrong in silence. Let your body do the talking. Let your bank account scream louder than your words. Let your mindset become bulletproof through suffering. Everyone around you is folding. Their discipline is paper thin. If you stand tall while the rest crumble, you become dangerous. You become rare, and rarity is power. You think alpha is some label you throw on a shirt. No, it's built in the dark when nobody's watching, when your hands are bleeding and you still don't quit. There is a beast in you, but you've buried him under comfort, under fear, under lies. He's there, clawing to get out. Every time you feel that guilt after wasting a day, that frustration in your chest when you see someone living the life you want, that's him. That's your real self locked in the cage of weakness. Free him, train him, feed him pain and sweat until the world sees you and wonders, what the hell did that man go through to become this? This isn't a game. This isn't a movie. This is your one shot at immortality. Not in name, not in fame, but in self-respect. In legacy, in walking into a room and knowing no man in there can outwork you, outthink you, outlast you. And you don't get there by chance. You get there by obsession. The kind of obsession that keeps you awake while others sleep, that makes you lift when your body is screaming, that forces you to study when your mind is tired, that makes you bleed for the life you know you deserve. If you don't feel this in your soul, you're not ready. But if something in you is stirring, if that voice inside is screaming to be more good, that means you're still alive. That means the fire isn't dead. Don't let it die. Fan the flames. Become the man you promised yourself you'd be. No more waiting. No more hoping. Now is the time. This is your war. Win it.